with these new changes coming from the NAR settlement, your first appointment and the pre-appointment ritual are going to be more important than ever. And I'm going to break down some key steps, you've probably heard them before from me, that will help you to set up the importance around the appointment. So if you get some value out of this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit on the bell for notifications, and if you want to schedule a call about your business, feel free to click on the link in the comments and talk about how our team can support you in selling more homes. So there's two appointments in real estate, really. There's the buyer appointment and there's the seller appointment, and it's the initial meeting. A lot of agents call these consultations. I'm a big believer in the strategy session or planning meeting title to let people know exactly what's going to be covered in these meetings. So with that in mind, before a listing appointment, before a buyer appointment, you want to take a couple key steps. One is, and I've been doing this for listing appointments for over a decade, and it works really well. We just had an appointment this past week where it really helped us, is sending the pre-appointment email. So you set the appointment, then you record a video and send an email out with your resume, with a link to reviews, with a copy of the contract, something I've glossed over in these videos, so people can review them in advance, and maybe some other swag or third-party endorsements for you and your real estate business. It's personalized. It's one-to-one, and that sets the clear expectation around the appointment. You should be doing the same thing, and I'm coaching this for everyone I work with at our team here, doing the same thing for a buyer appointment. Send a copy of the contracts out in advance for them to read. What are the mandatory disclosures in your state? Consumer notice is one here in Pennsylvania. Are you sending a personalized video, telling them what to expect during the meeting? All these things are going to show you off as the knowledge broker and the expert, number one. And secondly, imagine that they're interviewing 3 agents. One sets the appointment and does nothing. One maybe confirms with a phone call or a text. And the third sends out a personalized video with all the great stuff about how they can help the consumer make a real estate decision. I don't know about you. I'm going with the third. So that would be step one. Then the next step is going to be the confirmation call. And these questions are really important you want to ask, because anytime you get an appointment, you don't want to talk yourself out of business. You want to get the appointment and get the heck off the phone. We find that's really important, because if you start tackling objections or issues or things that may not even be on the consumer's radar, they may just not want to meet with you at all. The confirmation call, the pre-qualification call, can be very, very important. And what you cover on that call is, hey, first off, let's just review the basics. You're looking for XYZ home, or you're planning on moving to here. Let's confirm that's still the case. That's going to be number one. For the seller side, I'd be asking the following questions. Just out of curiosity, how much do you think your home's worth? And is there any mortgage owed on the property? You need to be able to calculate a net sheet for them. Give them clear transparency on costs. Then you want to ask questions like, hey, are there any improvements that are going to positively impact the home's value? Great. That sounds good. Listen, write this stuff down. And then if you want to get really next level, you can complement this at the appointment. But you want to get clear on stuff they've done to the home that's going to impact the value. That's going to help you with your analysis that you put together. Then there's other questions like this. So if the home doesn't sell, what's your plan B? That's going to talk about motivation. You maybe already identified motivation and maybe don't need to ask this if you have a clear understanding where they're moving to, but it's a great question to include. Some additional questions you can ask. Hey, are you talking to any other agents, right? You want to know this because that could change your agenda for the appointment. Is it a competitive appointment or a non-competitive appointment? And you want to know that walking in, because then you can adjust and pivot as needed. So all of these questions, they're going to be really helpful, and you know exactly what you're walking into. The more information you have, the better off you're going to be. So that's something we've been doing for years with listing appointments. So how do you flip that to a buyer appointment? So with a buyer appointment, reiterate their goals. And then you can get into some of the financial stuff. So, hey, just out of curiosity, in case you like the home we're going to see today, or you see something you want to move on pretty quickly, are you planning on paying cash, or are you going to be financing the purchase? Don't ask them, are you pre-approved? Are you planning on paying cash, or are you going to be financing the purchase? And then the follow-up is, great, how much money do you have budgeted for a down payment right now? If they're paying cash, you don't need to ask. Perfect. Have you had a conversation with a lender yet? Awesome, you have? Fantastic. Let me know who it is. Like, you're getting into all the pre-qual stuff. You're understanding how the money's going to work. Another great question to ask to see if they're talking to any other agents is, hey, so tell me, how have you been looking for homes so far? And that will let you know if they're working with other people or they've talked to other folks. So now you know what they've done so far, you know how they're planning on paying for the property. And the last question you want to ask, and there's more here, I'm giving you the very high level ones. Hey, so just out of curiosity, has anyone taken the time to sit down with you and show you how the process works and what these new changes with the NAR settlement mean for your home buying plans in 2024? Great question. If it's no, well, hey, can I tell you why that makes me nervous? You can go into objection handling mode and explain why they need to meet with somebody to understand it. And if they haven't, it's a great opportunity to educate somebody. The whole point is you're stacking the cool before you get there. You're showing them, hey, I'm serious about your business. Here's some follow-up. Here's a personalized video. And then from there, what you're doing is you're asking questions so you know exactly what you're walking into and can have more effective appointments, which will lead to better client retention, more executed contracts, and more sales.